Dundee United have had a successful season in 2024-2025, partially down to the influential duo of Declan Gallagher and Louis Moult. However, they will not be helping Dundee United going forward. They will not be helping Dundee United in the 2025-2026 season, as Jim Goodwin has told both players that they will not be getting new contracts at the club. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. Some news broke out today about Dundee United and the fact that they will not be offering new deals to Declan Gallagher and Louis Moult. And Jim Goodwin has come out. He's called them both influential players. He said that the decision was not taken lightly, and he also says that both players can leave with their heads held high. Now, I think the news comes as a surprise. I mean, I look at both of these players. I think that they've offered, they've been decent for Dundee United this season. I think that they definitely have a role that they can play in this squad, and they give experience as well. They both had roles in Scottish football, both played for multiple clubs in Scottish football. Now, perhaps maybe the wages is an issue. Jim Goodwin didn't reveal how much wages are currently on or how much wages potentially they would want to stay at the club. I think potentially down to their experience, maybe they have outpriced themselves of a new contract, but I was surprised about hearing this news because I thought that both of these players were good additions to Dundee United, and I thought Dundee United would want to keep them going forward.
No, I'm surprised too, but I think you look at it on paper, two big names when you're relatively speaking to Dundee United. But I mean, what they've probably looked at is they probably didn't expect to do this well this season, Dundee United. They've now made it into the big leagues and probably went, here, these two guys are high earners, but realistically, we could be playing European football next season. We don't really think these guys are worth the wages they're on, but we could actually improve massively over the summer with two people who, maybe from foreign leagues, that could do a better job. And I mean, they're not over the hill, but I think their best years are behind them, put it that way. I actually agree with Dundee United here. And they're not, they're not crucial first team players, so to speak.
I mean, you say that Declan Gallagher has made 30 appearances this season, which I think is a decent amount.
No, it is.
In the Premiership alone. So that is only 3 games he's not appeared in. He's made 5 appearances in the League Cup, and he's made 1 in the Scottish Cup, but that's partially down to Dundee United going out of those things relatively
I would describe
early.
him as an important first team player. Almost crucial.
Now, he is 34, so maybe they just think that, he's getting up there in age. I'm surprised he wasn't offered an extra 1-year contract extension, but again, I mean, he is pretty experienced. He has played for multiple clubs in Scotland, and maybe they just think they can get something better for the amount of money that would have to pay for him. Louis Moult has made 17 Premiership appearances, 3 goals, 6 appearances in the Scottish League Cup, 2 goals in that and an assist. And he made 1 appearance in the Scottish Cup, and he is also 32. So,
Tell you what, though, a lot of minutes in the league not spent in the starting 11, so he is definitely more of a squad rotation player, Louis Moult. I think with Declan Gallagher is, I'm actually shocked he's 34, by the way. Would you have guessed that? I wouldn't have. I'd have said about 31.
Yeah, no, I didn't think he was. What? Who?
Declan Gallagher? I would never have said he was 34.
Yeah, no, I didn't think he was that old. But you look at Declan Gallagher, 91% of the time he's been in the starting 11, and he's played 85% of the minutes in the league. That's a lot, like you said. That pretty much tells you that he's a starter.
Yep.
I mean, is key player the wrong word? He's definitely a first team player.
He's an important first team player.
Right, okay.
Louis Moult,
on the other hand, has only been in the starting 11 12% of the time, and he's played 21% of the minutes. And maybe 3 goals, you're thinking, isn't a lot. But, I think that if he was playing a lot more minutes and he was starting more games, he would probably have more than 3 goals. I mean, looking at those stats, I think you can see why Louis Moult has not been kept. And, they did bring him back from England. I would imagine that he's probably on more than Declan Gallagher, despite not playing as much. And I can see why they've decided, we're not going to... He's actually got a cap for England. What the hell? When did he get that? Must have been the unders or something.
What?
Must have been under 21.
It says England C.
Yeah, anyway, so, I can kind of see why they haven't kept Louis Moult. The Declan Gallagher one, though, that makes... I'm baffled by that.
More caps than Chris Sutton.
Yeah, I really thought that they would have. I really thought they would have kept Declan Gallagher, but for whatever reason,
It's probably just an age thing.
they have. Yeah, like I said, I think a 1 year contract extension would be fine, but they haven't done that.
But it's the same with Balogun, right? I mean, Balogun's nowhere near played the 30 games, right? But on his day, he is Rangers' best defender.
But you're right. I mean, Dundee United, they've always been a club. I mean, they've always been a club that brought through young players and sold them on and sold them on. Sorry, and made profit. If they do offer Declan Gallagher a 1 year contract extension, there's just no value. You know, there's like you say, there's no selling value. He is older. You can't make any money for Declan Gallagher. Yeah, I mean, he might be a player worth having, but let's just say, for argument's sake, I don't know what he's on. Let's say he's on $3,000 a week, $4,000 a week. Let's just go with $4,000 a week. Maybe they think here, rather than signing him for another year on $4,000 a week, we would rather bring in a youngster or somebody younger with potential and pay them $4,000 a week, because in a year's time or 2 years' time we might be able to sell them on and make money. Whereas with Declan Gallagher, I mean, you don't have that, but I still think that Declan Gallagher could have played a part. And to me, he will be a miss for Dundee United. But let's see what Jim Goodwin had to say about the situation. He said, quote, "Such decisions are not taken lightly. There is a lot weighed up. There's always an argument about when do you break the news to the players. Some people think you should wait until the end of the season, but personally, I don't think that is fair to the players. They have wives, kids, and mortgages, just like the rest of us. And I think you've got to be fair to the lads and give them enough time to try and sort their futures at our clubs." End of quote. So, I mean, I think that's a fair point for Jim Goodwin. I agree that if you don't intend to keep somebody on, I think it's better to tell them now. The downside of that is, I mean, I guess they could down tools and maybe you won't get the same level of performance. But at the same time, if these players are trying to attract a new club, you could argue it might actually work for you. And for the final 5 games, you might see these guys actually improving, desperate to try and attract interest from elsewhere. So I think it just depends on what way you look at it.
Yeah, there's two sides to the coin. I mean, each player's different here. Louis Moult might try his fucking hardest, and Declan Gallagher might do a wee bit of sandbagging. You don't know how it's going to play it.
Yeah, Goodwin then went on to say he believes the pair still have a big part to play between now and the end of the season and are on board with United's task at hand. He said, quote, "They have been extremely professional since we have had those conversations, and they both want to play a part in the next 5 fixtures and leave Dundee United with their heads held high. I know they will leave with the greatest respect from the Dundee United supporters and all the staff here as well." End of quote. So yeah, look, they want to play in the last 5 games. That makes sense. I think they will be trying to put themselves out in the shop window, hoping that they can, probably get signed by other clubs. I mean, who knows? Maybe going to England's an option for them. We already know that Louis Moult has went down there. But Declan Gallagher, he's pretty much spent his entire career, most of it at least in Scotland. I don't think that he will want to move. He'll probably be looking to stay in the Premiership. I think Declan Gallagher's too good of a player to go down to the Championship.
I could see Declan Gallagher going to Falkirk.
Yeah, I could see that actually. That's a signing I could see. Could Louis Moult go to Falkirk?
I think he's good enough.
No?
No.
Top goal scorer, was he not? Like a decade ago?
A decade ago, but I don't think he's good enough. I don't know. I'm not saying he's not good enough, but I think Falkirk, first year back in Donkeys, I think they'll be looking for a wee bit better up front than Louis Moult.
The only issue I would have, and I mean it's not an issue because clubs need to move on. You cannot. I mean, you can't just keep somebody for the sake of keeping somebody. But if I was Louis Moult and Declan Gallagher, more so Declan Gallagher, because I think he's played a bigger part, I would be frustrated that I have helped this club get into a European spot, and you're not going to get the, you're not going to get the reward of actually playing any European games. And listen, I'm not saying that Dundee United have to keep everybody in the squad because they helped them get. I know football doesn't work like that, but do you not think it must come as a bit of a blow to Declan Gallagher, who let's be honest, probably thought he would be offered a contract extension, whereas maybe Louis Moult was looking at how the season was going and thinking, they might not want to keep me on here. But Declan Gallagher must feel a bit downhearted that he is helped. He's been a big part of this defence, helped this team get into 5th, and he's just not going to have the opportunity to play any European football unless, of course, he moves to a club that's also in Europe.
which I don't see happening. I mean, he's kind of cut off ties with Aberdeen. He's not going to move to Hibs.
Is he not, no?
Nah, he's done.
Declan.
I think it's Falkirk all day, every day. I mean, he could go to a Kelly. I could see that. But
what about Celtic looking for somebody to partner Carter Vickers? They need somebody better than a Trusty and Scales. Could he be their man?
Something tells me no. Here, is he better than Robin Proper? Aye. The Rangers are linked with Josh Mulligan of Dundee.
Would you take Declan Gallagher over a straight swap for Proper or no?
It's the age thing. You know, he's 3 years older.
But you think he's a better player?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't think many people would disagree with it. I think Proper's been absolutely bogging in his time at Rangers.
Yeah, maybe Proper's a better player, but...
Is he?
No, but maybe he is. No, I think Proper's a better player, right? But he hasn't proved it in Scotland. I mean, there's a reason why he was at 20. It can't just be he lucked it for a decade. You know what I mean? It may look like he lucked it. You know what I mean? But he's obviously got something about him.
Yeah, anyway, Declan Gallagher, Louis Moult, they're both out of luck. They're not being kept on by Dundee United, and it'll be interesting to see where they end up. I think Declan Gallagher will stay in Scotland. As for Louis Moult, I mean, he's 32. I mean, maybe he's got like one more decent run in him. But for Declan Gallagher...
He's 33 in a couple of weeks.
Right, fair enough.
He's fucking shite.
Any closing thoughts here?
No, I've got hee-haw. That's about it. I mean... On paper, it looks like a hammer blow, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, anyway, guys...
They wouldn't get rid of Declan Gallagher if it was that bad. If he was that good. I know he's played 30 games, but they clearly have faith in the other defenders and who they're going to bring in, the recruitment process.
Exciting times for Dundee United, though.
European football. Can they repeat the first leg of what they did against Ayside and not the second leg?
Yeah, when you think about it, it's not that long ago Dundee United were in Europe.
No, they did as Pride.
It's a tie over.
Aye.
Aye.
Are their Dundee United careers over? Aye.
Aye. Anyway, guys, that's it. Is this video over?
Aye.